people use protein powder and shakes to improve their health, but a new Consumer Reports study says many of them could contain unhealthy levels of lead.
Yikes.
Consumer Reports tested 23 different powders and shakes from popular brands and found lead in more than 2/3 of the products analyzed. A single serving contained more than Consumer Reports health experts say is safe to consume in a day. Sorry.
Yeah, not
Topping
good.
the list, Naked Nutrition's vegan mass gainer powder.
Okay.
Naked Nutrition issued a statement saying the company commissioned an independent test in response to the findings, saying that study confirmed that no heavy metals exceeded FDA reference intake levels.
Wow. Well, joining us now is Dr. James Rogers, the Director of Product and Food Safety Research and Testing for Consumer Reports. Thanks for joining us. What are the health dangers presented by these levels? First of all, just the sound of lead in your protein powder sounds bad. But what about these levels? What can you kind of break it down for us, the dangers here?
So we said in the article that while these levels were high, they mostly present a problem chronically, so over time. It's not like it's an acute problem where you would eat one of them and then you would immediately see symptoms, but it would be over time where you would take this, as you noted. Some people drink them daily over a number of months or years, and the effects of lead contamination accumulates. Plus, you have to realize that there's potentially other sources of lead in your diet, in your environment, in the air, in the water. And so this could be just one part of numerous exposures to lead as you go about your regular normal day.
Wow. And I wonder what the symptoms of excessive amounts of lead in the body are.
So you may remember years ago the concerns of lead-based paint because they noticed that children that were exposed to lead had a problem neurologically. They had a problem with learning disabilities, a problem with behavior. And this is especially true for children, but also pregnant women or women that want to get pregnant. If they're exposed to high levels of lead, it could affect the fetus and its development and growth. And then when the baby is born, you can see some of these neurological and behavioral problems as they start to grow up.
Why is lead getting into these powders? And is it just the powders or some of the drinks as well?
Well, we tested the lead, the protein powders and the protein shakes. What you have to realize is that, especially for the plant-based ones, and our story on dark chocolate a little while ago explained this too, where if there's lead contamination in the soil, the plants that are used, and primarily in the United States, it's pea plants, pea protein, they will absorb that lead that could be in the soil and it will end up in the final product. Also in the water, if there's lead contaminated water, the air, if the places where they're growing these plants are close to like a factory that makes batteries, those factories can release lead into the environment, contaminate the plants. For the animals, it's the same thing. The water they drink, the feed they eat could be exposing them to lead. And so there are a number of different ways, but a lot of it points to environmental contamination that eventually makes it into the final product.
Yeah, and that's counterintuitive because you think if you go plant-based, it's a little bit healthier, but actually it perhaps has higher levels of lead. What other products top the list?
Well, that's what we saw, that if you look at a range that is the plant-based that were the worst, it was the meat-based, beef-based that was next, and then the in general, these are generalities, it was the milk or dairy-based products. I don't think I heard your question.
No, were there other products on the list other than the plant? Yeah.
So what we talked about before is the do not buy products, and you name Naked Nutrition's vegan mass gainer, Huel's Black Edition vegan powder. Those were on the do not buy list. And so if consumers looked at our article on cr.org, you will see we have ranked a number of them as to okay to use once a week, once a day. And we had one product, Muscle Tech 100% mass gainer, that had no detectable lead. So if you want to use these products and then drink the best ones, at least in our testing, that Muscle Tech one, again, had no detectable lead. So it was the safest of all the ones that we tested.
Okay, that's good to know.
So you get no lead and you just bulk up, Kate. Is whey better? Is that WHEY? Is that
Yes.
a better option?
Well, in our testing, it was the whey products, even though there were some that had some issues, it was the whey products that were on the safer or less lead containing products. The article also talks about we don't really think you need these products, right? We have a link that will actually help you calculate your protein needs. And then we believe a whole food diet where you use legumes, Greek yogurt, more meat, eggs, tofu, so you can get your protein needs met naturally through diet. That these products are really not needed unless you're like a bodybuilder or an extreme athlete, or some people that are as they age, there's some protein needs that increase because of their loss of muscle mass. But in general, we believe the general consumer should be trying to get all of their protein needs met by consuming whole protein filled foods.
All right. Well, thank you for the information, and noted. I will.
What's for lunch
Yeah,
today, Kate?
exactly. Won't be a smoothie today.